Aside. Now, Davis was arrested this morning, like we just mentioned, on a charge of battery of domestic violence after he allegedly hit his ex-girlfriend outside of her home on Father's Day.
Man, I don't know what's going on with him and his personal life. You know, that's on him. You know, I'm minding the business that pays me. That's my business.
Yeah, again. You know, I mean, hey. Look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your... That's it, basically.
Terrence Crawford's brutal trolling ignited fresh beef with Gervonta Tank Davis after his recent controversy. Moreover, Tank Davis was recently arrested on a charge of battery related to domestic violence after allegedly hitting his ex-girlfriend outside her home. Though he was taken into custody, he later posted bond and was released, but was seen leaving with officers while covering his face to avoid the cameras. He has not made any public statement about the allegations.
Aside. Now, Davis was arrested this morning, like we just mentioned, on a charge of battery of domestic violence after he allegedly hit his ex-girlfriend outside of her home on Father's Day. According to the arrest form, Davis and the victim have 2 children together and were in a relationship for about 4 years. Police say Davis went to her home to pick up the kids on Father's Day. That's when an argument took place before things got physical. He reportedly told the victim to remove the kids from the car, saying he no longer wanted to take them. And while she was leaning in to grab her daughter from the back seat is when he allegedly hit her in the back of the head and proceeded to slap her on the right side of the face, resulting in a cut by her mouth. Now,
is this preferential treatment, or at least it's rare for someone to be walking out of that jail with an escort? In a bizarre sequence, well-known boxer Gervonta Tank Davis walked out of the Turner Guilford Night Center surrounded by 3 corrections officers. Those officers keeping reporters at bay, including Local 10's Roy Ramos, who asked Davis about the allegations against him.
In addition, regardless of the incessant trolling and bashing, Terrence Crawford admitted he has no idea what's happening in Gervonta Davis's personal life. He emphasized that it's his own personal matter. Crawford added that he's focused on his own business and staying locked in on what benefits him.
Man, I don't know what's going on with him and his personal life. You know, that's on him. You know, I'm minding the business that pays me. That's my business.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya expressed his admiration for Gervonta Davis, calling him one of his favorite fighters but urging him to get his life in order. He delivered a firm reminder that putting his hands on women is unacceptable and encouraged Davis to straighten out his actions.
Tank Davis, he got arrested. I mean, any thoughts on that one?
You did, huh? Again?
Yeah, again.
I mean, hey. Look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your... That's it, basically.
However, Conor Benn didn't hold back on Gervonta Davis, calling out his actions as vile for abusing his partner. He made it clear he doesn't condone it in any way and added that this kind of behavior has nothing to do with discipline and everything to do with a broken moral compass.
Tank Davis, somebody you've had some interaction with on social. What do you make of maybe the lack of discipline or arrest?
Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. Is that what you want to put it down to?
Yeah.
It's more than lack of discipline.
Yeah.
It's vile. Do you know what I mean? I don't condone that at all in the slightest, so it's not got nothing to do with lack of discipline. It's got everything to do with moral compass. And for me, that's just, yeah.
Domestic violence. How do you feel about that?
He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag. You don't ever raise your hand to a woman. Ever.
Absolutely.
I don't care who you are, what you've done. You can shove your world titles up your ass. You never lay hands on a woman.
Absolutely.
Scumbag. He's a little rat.
Reacting to the news of Tank Davis's arrest, Lamont Roach uploaded a video showing he's still grinding in the gym as he keeps his focus on a possible rematch with Davis. He captioned the clip with a clear message that he's not slowing down, writing that they're still here and the grind doesn't stop, only people do. Although there were others like Abdullah Mason who reacted to the news of Tank Davis's arrest by saying they don't know much about the situation and have no personal ties to Davis. But Abdullah wished him well and chose not to comment on the situation and hoped Tank does well in and out of the ring.
What's your reaction to that? I don't know about that. You know, I don't know Tank personally, and I really got nothing to say. You know, I just wish him the best. You know, everything inside the ring, outside the ring.
Boxing Ego also spoke out on the situation and called it unfortunate, making it clear he does not condone any behavior that goes against what it means to be a true champion. He stressed that fighters have to remember that they must act and carry themselves like champions throughout their entire journey, both inside and outside the ring.
Now, my thing, anytime we get into these situations with these boxers and pro athletes, but primarily boxing because that's the sport that I primarily cover, it's unfortunate. You know, on my channel, since its inception, we have never condoned any behavior like this and behavior that doesn't champion the fighter. Fighters, you have to remember, you have to act and conduct yourself as a champion throughout your journey as a pro fighter. You will be looked at as a champion, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring.
However, Boxing Ego also made it clear that he does not like to jump the gun when stories like this surface. He pointed out that there is almost always more to the situation than what first comes to light, or that things might turn out to be true but need context. Boxing Ego said it is tough to judge anything when you have not seen it with your own eyes, so he prefers to wait for all the facts before making up his mind.
So, I don't like to jump the gun because sometimes stories are fabricated or not, or it could be very true. I don't know. I wasn't there. They arrested him. They felt they had grounds, and now he's going to have to settle this in court. It is very unfortunate that we are hearing these things, and, you know, you don't want to see fighters' mugshot plastered everywhere. Not too long ago, I made a video where Devin Haney's ex alleged that he had put hands on her when she was pregnant. Then weeks later, Gervonta Davis and he's been in this territory before, right? And the worst part about it for Gervonta Davis is he already had a court case that he had to serve some time. So any additional like trips to prison, trips to jail, getting arrested does not look good for you. And the fact that you've had similar charges in the past and, you know, other videos and other arrests and mugshots, it just don't look good. It looks like almost like a repeat offender. Now, that's just in the personal realm and you're playing with your freedom. For me, I don't understand. I mean, I never had the money that Gervonta Davis had, but I don't think that would change the core of me because I've been who I am since I've been born. And it's not just Tank, but these different fighters. Again, some of you guys are asking me details that I don't have. I am not Miami-Dade County Police. Do I look like Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett? Because I'm Mike Lowry. Can I eat the pickle?
Building on that, Boxing Ego emphasized that the worst part for Gervonta Tank Davis is the fact that he already had a court case in the past where he had to serve time. He pointed out that any new trips to jail, or even just getting arrested again, do not look good for Tank's reputation. Ego also noted that because Tank has faced similar charges before, it leaves people with the impression that he is becoming a repeat offender, which may hurt both his legacy and career.
Right? And the worst part about it for Gervonta Davis is he already had a court case that he had to serve some time. So any additional like trips to prison, trips to jail, getting arrested does not look good for you. And the fact that you've had similar charges in the past and, you know, other videos and other arrests and mugshots, it just don't look good. It looks like almost like a repeat offender. Now, that's just in the personal realm and you're playing with your freedom.
Adding to that, Bernard Hopkins made it clear he doesn't condone domestic violence and hopes the situation gets resolved. He wants to see Tank straighten things out, refocus on his family and career, and move forward in a better direction. Hopkins also wished for both sides involved to find a way to put things back together and stay positive moving ahead.
Unfortunately, man, I hope he come out
you know what I mean, everybody else come out. I'm not with the domestic violence thing, man, but I hope that, you know, he get that straightened out and he get back to focus on his family and his career. Family first, and then career second. But I just wish both his girl, ex-girl, his kid's mother, you know what I mean, can get things together and look forward.
At the same time, Bernard Hopkins also admitted he doesn't really know what Tank needs right now and doesn't know him well enough to understand what's truly going on in his mind or life. He pointed out that even though they both live on the East Coast, they're not close enough for him to just call up Tank and offer advice or guidance in a situation like this.
Because he's a great talent.
I don't know, and I don't know him that well. I know he lives in Maryland or Baltimore, and I live in, you know, Philadelphia. And you know, we both on the East Coast, tri-state, but I'm not familiar with him, you know, to be able to call him up or talk to him or anything like that. So I can't really say ever. And he knows what he has to do right now for his own career and his own reputation as far as where happens next, going in the second, really the third chapter of his career, if you want to take and add the personal challenges.
Furthermore, Devin Haney made it clear he is not getting involved in any talk about Gervonta Davis's personal life. Haney firmly stated that he will not offer any comments or words on the situation, saying it is simply not his business to weigh in on what Tank does outside the ring. Haney implies that whatever Tank does inside the ring, he can comment on, but he cannot comment on what he does outside.
Devin, just switching the page. I don't know if you saw what just took place with Dante, you know, that he being arrested.
No, I don't speak on that. I can't speak. I don't speak on nobody's business. Whatever they do at home, that ain't none of mine.
For Boxing Ego, the bigger issue is how money seems to change some fighters at their core. He said he does not understand how someone can reach the top, have all the money and all the eyes on them, and still keep landing in trouble. Ego pointed out that it is not just Tank Davis, but he sees the same pattern with different fighters who let fame and wealth spiral into bad choices. He added that while having a temper is understandable, Tank needs to get proper help and seek clinical support to manage his psychological state and stay focused on what matters inside the ring.
For me, I don't understand. I mean, I never had the money that Gervonta Davis had, but I don't think that would change the core of me because I've been who I am since I've been born. And it's not just Tank, but these different fighters that keep getting into these issues. You have all this money and all these eyes on you in spotlight. I understand having a bad temper and things like that, but you got to get some help. You got to, you know, control your temper. For me, I don't like the idea of a person costing me my...
Adding to that, Dante's Boxing Nation weighed in on the controversy surrounding Gervonta Tank Davis and did not sugarcoat the situation, saying it is far from good news, especially with Tank's expected rematch against Lamont Roach hanging in the balance.
So even though these are all allegations right now, this is still not good news for Gervonta Tank Davis, especially considering the fact that we were all expecting his fight against Lamont Roach to be announced.
Dante's further pointed out that this same woman had accused Tank before, and it turned out she had lied about the assault back then, with reports that she was actually the one who assaulted him. Because of that, Dante's urged fans not to jump to conclusions too quickly and to wait for official statements before deciding where the truth lies.
His rematch. Now, it's also important to note that this is the same girl that accused Davis of assaulting her before, and she actually lied about the assault. In fact, it was her that assaulted Gervonta. So I guess we have to find out next week when he's going to be released on bond. We'll also find out if his ex is going to change her story, and hopefully for Gervonta's sake, she does. Because Gervonta, he ain't got the complexion for the protection to be treated like a Conor McGregor or a Sergey Kovalev. I mean, because Conor, he damn near gets arrested every 3 months. And it seems like every time he gets released from jail, he ends up getting a new endorsement deal. Gervonta, he doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have his Hope insurance.
Additionally, Dante's added a serious note to his take on Gervonta Tank Davis's situation. He said that if these allegations hold up and do not get cleared, Tank could end up having to do more time behind bars.
See, because when you got that Hope insurance, you got full coverage. Everything is covered. Well, almost everything, but you guys get the point. So once again, for Gervonta's sake, hopefully this doesn't stick. These allegations don't stick. Because if they do, he's most likely going to do some type of time. But he most likely won't do the time now. It'll probably be 6 months or a year from now.
However, Punch Drunk Boxing did not hold back when talking about the scenario. He pointed out that every time Tank is about to step into the ring, it seems like there is another allegation that he hit one of his girlfriends and he ends up getting arrested for domestic violence. Punch Drunk Boxing said he still cannot tell if any of this is real or not, but what worries him is how it has become almost like a tradition lately.
Here we go again. Isn't it a coincidence that every time that Gervonta Davis is about to fight, as we all know he's supposed to be fighting the rematch with Lamont Roach, that allegedly he hits one of his baby moms, gets arrested for domestic violence. I'm trying to figure out, is this real or this is just part of a promo? Because it's becoming a tradition. Leading up to the Gervonta Davis fight, he gets arrested for domestic violence or something of that nature, right? So put it this way, Gervonta Davis was arrested early Friday morning in South Florida. The WBA lightweight champ is accused of hitting his ex-girlfriend on the back of the head and slapping her, source tells me.
Moreover, Punch also noted that when this incident occurred previously, the victim in question stated that she overreacted and later came out and admitted that her blame was a lie.
Battery charge. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look. The last time this occurred, the baby mama said that was a lie, that she over-exaggerated. Remember, she threw him, she put caca, doo-doo in his toothpaste, in his toothbrush. Remember that time? And destroyed his home. And then she later came out and said that it was a lie. Now, I'm not going to jump to a conclusion. Again, it's innocent to proven guilty. I wish that the viral moment also would have been when the baby mama lied about him hitting her. So he has two. That's why we got to wait for more information. But hopefully everything is good with Gervonta Davis and his family and his children. At the end of the day, this is an embarrassment moment for him.
Furthermore, Boxing Ego made it clear he is not here to judge what the outcome of Gervonta Tank Davis' situation will be. He said it is not yet clear if Tank is in truly deep trouble, but admitted that it does not look good at all, especially with Tank's name already tied to similar cases in the past.
My job, Bay Area. It's not my job to babysit. It's not my job to police or really judge what the outcome is going to be. I don't know if the girl's lying. I don't know if Tank's in deep trouble. We got to wait and see. He's going to have to go through the proper steps and stages. All I'm saying is, because you've had issues in the past with your name being attached to similar DV behavior, the optics don't look good.
To make things worse, Ego pointed out that this could put the rematch fight in real jeopardy, and fans may not see it happen at all if things keep going down this road.
But now, what makes it even worse is it is being reported that a fight with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, which we thought we were getting on August 16th, that wasn't even the first date. That was not the first date. But now it is being reported that we might not get the fight at all. I seen reports that stipulated Tank might fight Jake Paul and not even fight Lamont Roach. This was before this whole arrest.
All in all, the swirling controversy around Gervonta Tank Davis has once again split opinions across the boxing world. While some stand firmly against his alleged actions, others caution fans to wait for the full story to unfold before passing judgment. Whether these latest allegations stick or not, one thing is certain. Tank's future inside the ring now hangs in the balance as the court of public opinion weighs heavily on his reputation. If you stand against domestic violence, show support by liking the video share with a fellow boxing fan. Comment down whether this incident will affect Gervonta's rematch fight with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you are notified every time an update drops.